now, no chance in hell. The Everything Else Reviews.
So we're going to go through all of the other crap we did besides Halloween stuff in Florida.
Yeah, Halloween's over. Hope you had a good Halloween. Now let's talk about everything else. Busch Gardens, Tampa. I feel better about that park now than I ever have after this most recent visit. It's never been my favorite. It still isn't, but it's also I've never liked it much at all. It's probably always been like bottom half for me, like bottom 50%, somewhere in there. And now I feel like I get the park a little more than I ever have. So that's just a personal experience kind of thing. It has nothing to do with too many changes in the park. In fact, more of the changes recently are probably bad. And that's not this park specific. That's the chain. That's SeaWorld Parks Entertainment. Most of the decisions they're making now I don't like. But just about this park, where I never felt I knew how to get around, or I never felt I liked the theme, I was into it more this time than ever before.
We spent more time in this park than we ever had in a single day, right?
It was a long day, yeah. We've never had it open this late. You know, it was the Hollow Scream and park hours combined.
So it was cool to get to know the park better. I do feel much more comfortable with this place now.
Yeah, it feels accessible. It feels like it's not just humongous, and I can't even see the whole thing in one day, and I don't know where the hell I am. And
yeah,
it felt more doable this time, so that was good. But we're not here to review the whole park. We're just talking about the new stuff. It was new to us this time around, which means that everything we're going to talk about is going to be no more than 5 years old. So everything was put in within the last 5 years in Florida, and it's the first time we're getting around to it.
So what do you want to start with?
First up, Falcon's Fury. I want to say Flying Falcon. I wanted to say Falcon's Crest. It's, so they picked this for their newly rechristened Pantopia, like fantasy Africa village now. Instead of being anything real, hearkening to any real area of Africa, it's just some fantasy thing. So Falcon's Fury. It's really themeless in actuality. Bare bones tower, prototype looking in every way. When I say bare bones, it really is bare bones. It's not even done up with too much decorative fiberglass. It's minimal. You can see the seams, so to speak. Like you see just the pipes just welded together or bolted together that make up the main ride car structure, and it's not even covered up like a lot of rides try to do. It's just kind of exposed out there. It's very prototype looking, but whatever. It's a thrill. I don't know that it belongs in this park. I was very surprised even with Mock Tower years ago when the Busch parks decided to go drop tower and do these very non-themed versions of them. It's very Six Flags, very Cedar Fair, very regional parkish, these installations. But that aside, I was very interested and very intrigued about the concept of you're going to turn and face down before you drop. That's the whole thing. Was it 280 or something?
They advertised 335 feet.
What?
I remember we had that reaction when we were there.
Yeah, all right, we saw 335 there.
Because it looks like it's 200 or something. I don't know.
It doesn't look like it. 335?
That's what they advertised.
I understand you don't reach the top. Probably are still, 30 to 50 feet shy of the actual top of the thing?
You get high enough.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I will say, the thing is prominent. And the way it's just about dead center in the park, it seems. So you see it from everywhere. There's almost no view or no picture that you'll take where it will not be in the background now. And that's kind of weird.
Yeah.
It really just dominates the skyline of that park now. All right, so it's you get about 300 feet, I guess, for the drop. And that in itself isn't that unique. The unique thing is the fact that you face down. But for one reason or another, they want you to swing back and be in a sitting position by the time you reach the bottom. Like during the drop, by the time the brakes hit the full and you just about completely stop, they want you to be back into a sitting position. I guess that's for safety or for the forces. And I know that caused a lot of problems at first. There was like pieces of the ride like coming off. Springs were popping and breaking on some of the first test runs. It looked like it would never get open. It finally did. And I'm glad it did. Falcon's Fury ride experience. What was it? What do we think? You were a little freaked out, Drizzer.
Yeah, I don't like heights. So drop towers are not my most favorite thing. But I always do them.
At least once, right? At least.
Right.
This one especially because it was a gimmick.
Oh, yeah, I had to try the gimmick.
Yeah.
And it really is freaky. It's definitely something else. It's not like your average drop tower.
It is different enough. It's very different, actually. It's more different than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be pretty similar and just a little twist in what you're looking at based on you facing kind of downward at an angle. But I wasn't really that juiced for it. And I actually was pleasantly surprised. It was different. It was very different. It's a very slow ascent.
And you face down when you're going up, too.
Yeah, before you're totally at the top, you're almost there, but you still got a little bit more to go. And then they start, all the seats kind of angle in towards the center of the tower. And yeah.
And you really are like perpendicular to the ground.
And then that's the thing too. From the ground, it's not quite apparent. I thought it was going to be more of an angle, but it's close enough. It's like when you're up there, yeah, you may as well be totally horizontal. You really are laying down, facing the ground. It's like I was after the last few degrees. I was kind of like, what? It's still going. What? Like, wow, you really get there. You're really facing the ground. You can see the tower, like behind you, like you really are. It's almost like a vertical drop on a roller coaster, where you can see it like there, which is totally unique. I've never gotten that sensation on a drop tower before. And they hold you there for a little bit. Long enough. Well, those kind of things always feel longer when you're on it than when you're off it. But
yeah.
You feel it. You get the idea. Like you're hanging there for a bunch of seconds.
Yeah, those last couple of feet, they really inch up very, very slowly.
Yeah, they inch up slowly. You're just about all the way face down already, and then it's just like, oh shit, oh shit.
Yeah.
And you kept your eyes open the whole time, right?
I did.
Yeah. You had to, because this is really visual.
Oh yeah.
Although I think even if you close your eyes, the forces, I think you'd feel that it was different. Something was a little amiss.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not just in a sitting position like an SNS or a typical Intamin. This is something different. This is Intamin. I don't know if I mentioned that. And then you drop, and wow, it's cool. I got it. It got me. Like, it thrilled me.
Yeah.
It's different enough. Regular drop towers for me are kind of ho-hum. I like them. I would usually try to do them as long as the lines aren't ridiculous. But I'm not blown away by them either, though, regardless of the height. Even doing the couple tallest in the world, I don't know if I was mind blown by them. This got me. Maybe not full mind blow, but pretty close. Like it got me going. It got me screaming, like for real. It was cool. It's like you see the ground coming at you. It's really, you're the villain at the end of the film, falling to your death. Like you really are. It's like it's gotta, it's definitely gotta be like, I haven't done it, but like one of the closer experiences to doing like base jumping or just not even skydiving, because you're never gonna be falling horizontal to the ground that fast, that close to the ground during skydiving. You're pulling the chute before that point, because that's the last 300 feet.
Oh yeah, you gotta pull the chute way before
by that point, or way before that point.
Yeah.
Even. So this is really unique.
It was sort of dreamlike, because you're just facing the ground the whole time, and you're going so fast towards it.
Yeah,
it's you really, at least for me, I was thinking a little bit, you really have to trust the manufacturer. Well,
it's not like you wouldn't.
It's like I always trust them.
Dead or close to death, even in the sitting position ones that have been around.
No, right,
for decades.
Exactly. Right, you have to trust these manufacturers anyway with every ride. But this one, I actually thought about it for a second. Like I'm really.
It makes you think. Okay.
I'm really being trusting of Intamin here.
Oh Lord, don't get this right. Don't say such words.
Yeah. Well, that's why the thought went through my mind.
That's a sin
for a second.
Yeah, it actually it plays with your mind more than a regular drop tower does.
Yeah.
Or most rides in general do. This is really, it is like a falling to your death simulator.
Yeah,
I mean, it really is. It's the falling to your death simulator. Like, this is what it would look like. And then you're just missing the splat, thankfully. Yeah, it's awesome, though. I really liked it. And it was one of the rare times, especially on a drop ride, maybe the first time on a drop ride, where I got off and I was thinking, I gotta do this again.
Yeah.
At some point, I gotta do this again because that was really cool. I kind of hope at least one or two other parks put these in.
Yeah.
Because I like to have this to do occasionally when we travel to other areas, and not always have to rely on this one park, because it really is kind of neat. I like it. And then when you do pull out back to your regular sitting position, it is very smooth. It's smooth and graceful.
Yeah, it is.
You don't get jerked. You don't bang your head or bang your head back against the headrest or anything. It was I found it to be pleasant. I mean, I guess it took a long time to get it right, but it seems okay now. I can't totally shit on Intamin for this. It's a cool enough idea that it's almost like it should have been built at least once.
Yeah.
So I'm glad it got built. I'm glad I got to do it.
Yeah, I thought it was really cool too. It was a rush, but I would not do it again. It's a bit too much for me. But of course, I'm glad.
If there's another installation though, then you have to kind of do each one once.
Yeah,
like
if there's another one, I got to do it. The new one, but
yeah, okay, there you go.
I wouldn't do this particular one again. The Tampa one.
I want to see 400 foot. I want to see.
Oh wow!
At least Thai Zumanjaro. Restraints were comfortable.
Oh yeah,
not a problem there.
No.
Loading was quick enough. It wasn't any issues really. It was great.
No,
it was solid stuff. Not what I expected. It was a pleasant surprise. Great. Falcon's Fury. If you're there at that park, definitely plan to do it. It's worth it. Should we talk about Pantopia in general real quick?
Yeah, very quickly.
This is something that we talked about on the show in a prior episode. We had heavy doubts. Artwork looked just silly at best, downright stupid throughout most of it. And we finally got to see it in person. This is the former Concrete Town, right? Or no, what was it called? Timbuktu?
Timbuktu, yeah.
The former Timbuktu. It was just Cement Town. Well, they painted all the cement, different colors, and added a bunch of stupid shit on the buildings. Called it Pantopia. I still believe that they're trying to fool people into thinking it's Avatar.
Yeah, Pandora.
Somehow Avatar related.
Yeah.
I really think they are. And they did get it open, it's been open for 2 years already. And the actual Pangea, what was it called? Pandora? You just said it. Pandora's box is going to actually open still another 2 years away or something.
Something like that. Yeah.
So it's whatever. But first thing I noticed, though, was actually there was not as much crap on the buildings as the artwork said they would have.
Yeah.
So I guess they scaled it back, or they realized that it was stupid, or...
I mean, they had some kind of dumb shit on the buildings, like they put plates on some of them.
They feel like a lot of shit in the walls. Come on down.
And chairs. They attached chairs to the side of one building.
Oh, yeah, that was great.
Some of the buildings had
wooden chairs.
Weird stuff on them that made no sense.
Bolted to the side of a building.
Yeah.
They had chairs for lights.
Oh, yeah.
Remember? No, it was like chairs with beer mugs, inverted beer mugs or beer steins with the light bulb in the stein. That was the lights. Those are the lighting fixtures. They had some water wheel that didn't work.
No,
didn't
it was
turn. There was no water.
It was just in a little slit in the
a slit
in the walkway. But there's no water for the water. How's it supposed to turn? It didn't make any sense.
Yeah, it was a water wheel in a garden essentially.
Yeah,
it was and then I think that the sum total was the stupid stuff is stupid. It didn't look any better in real life than it did on the artwork. And then the overall paint job though is an improvement.
Yeah, I can't believe when we actually did it and we were standing in the place. I can't believe that I was saying out loud, you know what? This is actually better than what was here before.
Because it was just so drab before. It was just all and that bridge. I think it's a train. Is it a train bridge that you cross under to get on your way out of that area?
Must be, right?
The lower entry exit by the elephant exhibit.
Yeah.
Into the Nairobi area. They didn't paint that. the tunnel you go in under. So that's reminded us of what it used to look like, and it was pretty awful. It was just all just like tan
Concrete.
blown concrete.
Yeah.
Like onto metal structures. And the whole thing used to be like that. That's why we used to call it Cement Town, because it was just cement. It was just cement buildings. And it was supposed to be like mud buildings like they would have in Africa, I guess. But it was just like so clearly just painted concrete. And it was all just so drab to look at. It was just all nothing but tan, one color paint for the whole thing. So it does look better. It does look nicer. It's fantasy now. It's Fantasyland, essentially. Fantasyland Africa, this Pantopia. But whatever, it's an improvement overall. So there you go. The pretzel thing they added, though, that's out of place. And it is terrible, by the way. The whole SeaWorld Parks and Entertainment pretzel thing, they have one in every park now. It's not good. It's not pretzel dough. It's just a really bad fried dough recipe. It's a rubbery, chewy dough. It's not good. So don't fall for that. All right. There's a Cobra in the park. And I believe it's cursed. Yes, Cobra's Curse. The other new ride. That is new. That's new this year.
New for 2016, yeah.
So that's the newest thing the park has. Took over the old Tut's Tomb exhibit. It seems like they reused that for a bunch of the queue. Not all of it, I guess, because there was definitely more queue than there was Tut's Tomb. There was a train station over there, too, which I had forgotten about until I got home and looked it up. But I think that closed earlier. I don't think they just closed that for this. I think that was closed a while ago. I think. So Cobra's Curse. It was. We didn't. I don't know. I didn't know much about it. I knew it was like a Mac mouse, and I wasn't expecting much.
Yeah, I wasn't really expecting a whole lot either.
I mean, the queue was all right. It was pretty detailed. There was enough to look at. There's that one big room where whole projection show goes on. Mm-hmm. You know, it was all right. It was cartoony and cheesy though. At the same time, it was. I mean, I know we said it to each other when we were there. It reeks of Morrow.
It's very Morrow-y, yeah.
It's got his stench all over it. Yeah, it's just everything he does is kind of cartoony and cheesy.
Yeah.
He's not into realism, that's for sure. It's it kind of starts like it's going to be a real archaeological dig, and then it just devolves into a cartoony mess, kind of. We're not a fan of his work here. No secret there. It's like, what do we always say? Like, they gotta get rid of this guy.
Yeah, they really.
Every time we go to one of the parks and one of the new attractions, we always just end up with like, I gotta get rid of this guy. Like, please, just get rid of this guy. He's not good. This ride is not reliable. It was breaking down constantly. It broke down 2 separate times while we were waiting. Not to mention the fact that it was broken down other times earlier in the day that we saw.
Yeah. Well, this was going on park-wide. They were having a rough day.
Overall,
with all the rides.
Yeah, they were having a rough day.
Falcon's Fury was down a couple of times. I saw Cheetah Hunt down at least once.
Yeah.
They couldn't get Kumba up and running when they were supposed to.
Gwazi was down the whole day. I mean, come on. Best wooden coaster ever.
Yeah.
No?
So operations-wise, they weren't having the best day.
Yeah, no, I know. But this ride in particular, I could just kind of tell. I don't think it was just a day. I think so far it's not reliable. After we did it, I kind of saw maybe why. Because it's definitely ambitious, and I could see there's a lot of things that could go wrong. Oh, quick aside. It came up all the way around the queue. They do have announcements, like most parks do, for when a ride breaks down. But why does no one have an announcement for when the ride comes back up? Because when you're in the queue, and like a lot of queues, or maybe even most queues in Florida especially, where you're completely inside and you're away from the ride. You can't see the ride. You can't watch it. You don't know when it comes back up. So, you know, a lot of people give up and they walk out. But they got to have an announcement that tells you that the ride's reopened.
Yeah, that would be courteous. That'd be very nice.
If they have a themed announcement that it's closing, or it's closed, or malfunction, or whatever, Playful Spooks have delayed our mission. But then they don't have the Playful Spooks have been vanished back to the other dimension. The mission is back on. They don't have that. Even Disney doesn't do that. So that's weird. Someone's gonna do that. Look into it, guys. It'd be a good idea. So they kept breaking down. But we hung out, we stuck it out, and we got it. I guess this was a theme. We had Falcon's Fury. Now this, better than I thought. I didn't think it was going to be that good. And I had a lot more fun than I thought I was going to.
Yeah, I thought this was a really cool ride, actually. It does a lot of different things.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Well, you got your elevator lift, which is...
The elevator lift
different.
is cool. I like it. It's not first.
No.
We had experienced it before. Well, this is spoilers. Goes without saying. It's a coaster, though, which is harder to spoil. It's like, we'll tell you, but you still got to do it for yourself. But if you've been to SeaWorld San Diego, it's the same elevator lift that Mako used on that Journey to Atlantis. But it's kind of neat. It's like an elevator, but it's kind of like a wonky elevator because it kind of tips back and forth while you're going up. It's a neat effect. It kind of feels like something's malfunctioning. It's kind of cool. So they did that here. I mean, there's a big Cobra statue. It's like steampunk Cobra. I don't know what the hell is going on with that.
You're supposed to be touring the dig site, I think. I think that's why you're there.
And you unearth this giant robotic Cobra?
Yeah, they have. You go on the tour to see it, and then whatever the curse takes hold, and you go on for a wacky ride.
It's like, they didn't want to make it move or do anything. Not even some mist or anything.
No, nothing.
You do kind of go right into the mouth, though. You get close.
You get
to
very
it.
close. Yeah.
That was kind of cool. You kind of like going into its mouth, but then that's it. So it's like it's neat, but kind of a waste. I don't know. It's,
yeah, but it's a cool ride because the first section you're just facing forward like a normal roller coaster,
standard coaster, and it's not really mouse-like.
No, not at all. This rides like a more like what is it, like Turbulence at Adventureland?
Yeah,
Adventure Long Island, where it's not a mouse layout at all.
It's not the hairpin switchback.
Yeah,
curves at the top, and then
it's just
the little drops. It's got just a regular layout.
Yeah, but this is a family coaster. Yeah. But anyway, so the first section you're facing forward. The next section, the cars unlock and they spin freely. I think it is.
No, you go backwards.
Oh, you go backwards. That's what it was.
You just turn backwards. Yeah.
So you turn around. It's not, the second section.
From what I could tell, I don't think there's any free spinning. It's entirely.
Oh, really?
It's entirely controlled. It's not the max spinning cars.
Right.
That was apparent from the get-go. We said that when we saw the teaser videos months ago, that it's actually like more like the regular mouse cars, and I think it's two, right? Was it little trains of two?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Together, and then and it's a mechanical spin, like they can spin at the base. So yeah, the first part standard forward, then you spin backwards, and then you go through a section backwards. And then, like, there's a third section, you kind of you spin around. But I don't think it's free. It could be. I'm not sure, though.
But anyway, it was really cool to have 3 different sections, 3 different experiences. It's a really nice idea. I like it.
There's a lot going on. It's also a lot longer than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Like, you're in there for a while. There's a lot of track. It's a mess of track. It doesn't look like it when you stand and look at it from outside of it. Or we rode the train earlier in the day and we kind of passed it. But then when you're on it, it's like, I don't know where they hide all that track. It just seemed like it was going around and just keep going for a while. There's a lift.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
There's a tire lift hill. So you get an elevator and a lift later on in the ride. Yeah. Forward, backward, all around.
If I rode this thing like 50 times in a row, I still probably wouldn't get the layout right.
Yeah. It's convoluted. It's twisted around. It is fun. The best comparison I could make is it's kind of like Fire Chaser Express.
Okay.
I kind of thought it was kind of like Mac's version of that, and I want to go and say it's actually better.
Yeah,
I think it's
I don't have to
fun.
think about it. I like Cobra's Curse a lot better.
Yeah, it's a more fun version of that because that had the first half of that was total garbage. Fire Chaser, it was just herky jerky. Like I don't know what the hell they were going for. They didn't know what they were going for. I don't think. They're just like, oh, just have it go here, just dip there, just it just kind of sucked. That ride is all about the backwards part. This was good and smooth all 3 parts, and the spinning around part, free or not, again, just better.
And we should say, Firestarter Express, whatever it's called, that's Gerschlauer actually, and Cobra's Curse is Mac.
Okay, yeah, different manufacturers.
Yeah.
So yeah, Cobra's Curse, I enjoyed it.
It was good. It's a very good, solid ride, I think.
It's a fun family coaster.
At first, I didn't understand why they were putting this coaster in their park because they already have a mouse.
Yeah.
They have Cheetah Chase, or it's not called Cheetah Chase. What is it called? Sand Serpent now or something? Whatever.
They don't have 2 cheetah rides.
Yeah.
You have 2 zombie houses though.
Yeah.
Come on, guys.
So I thought, why are they putting another mouse in? But yeah, like we said, it's not mouse-like at all. It's just a fun family coaster.
It's a fun family coaster. The only thing I can think that's kind of like it is the fire starter.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of fun. I guess it's sort of like the modern twist. This is like what you'd put in now instead of a mine train.
Yeah, I guess so.
You know, but at least someone's doing that level ride, which is still good.
Right, yeah.
And doing kind of a fun twist with it, where it's not just a straight out roller coaster. There's more to it. There's theme, there's forward, backward, spinning, elevator. That's all the cool stuff. I mean, there is theme. The actual story, though, that's garbage. Typical Morrow, it's just garbage. It's like if there can be schlock in amusement parks, it's like that's it. It's just schlock. It's just
There can be. This is it.
Yeah, and this is it. It's just like there's a snake demon thing or a curse of some, no, it's like some kind of snake god.
Yeah.
And then like, the people were good and then they got greedy and now I'm going to kill them. And it's just like, what? It's like so simple, so lame. Like no thought went into that. It's just, that's schlock. That's theme park schlock. But once you're on it, it's fine. They just should have not even bothered having one. It's just what it is. It's just fun. It's a fun ride.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. So again, I think I'd recommend this wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
I definitely got to try it. I think the biggest misstep on this one is that it's too low capacity.
Yeah, for this park, yeah.
I mean, you want to compare it to Fire Chaser. I mean, that at least has regular length trains. If they could have figured out how to do this with a regular length train, maybe not the short little 2-car trains. Maybe have at least 4 or 5. And then they all could spin and do their thing, but that would have been much better.
Yeah, they try to do like a conveyor belt, like Hollywood Rip Ride Rocket.
Like they never truly stop.
It doesn't stop in the station at all. Just keeps going. They try to do that. It didn't work great though.
No, especially because it kept breaking down, and then they'd have to keep stopping it. So.
Yeah.
But that's the same thing with Rocket. They have to keep stopping it.
It doesn't really work that great.
It never goes more
either.
than like 3 or 4 minutes, and they got to stop it again.
So I guess parks just shouldn't do that.
Yeah. When it comes to roller coasters, it's like, people just can't get in and out fast enough.
Right.
It just doesn't work.
Anything else about Busch Gardens Tampa? Actually, you know what? Cheetah Hunt really is terrible. I just got to say that.
Yeah.
It's kind of a worthless ride. I mean, you had an interesting comment after we did it again, where you said you have to kind of think about it as like a family coaster, or as not a big thrill ride.
Well, it's funny because we just talked about Cobra's Curse, and it's like, now that you have that, you really don't need Cheetah Hunt.
Right.
But before that, maybe Cheetah Hunt made more sense. Yeah, I kind of see it as the family coaster in the park. It's marketed as a thrill ride, but it's not really. It's really light and airy and fluffy, and
it's a really lame ride.
It also, it's a ride that doesn't know what it wants to be.
Yeah, right.
I think I know I came up with it when we were there. I think it's the first time I did. How similar this is to Maverick, which I didn't realize before.
Yeah.
In that it's just like Maverick, it's a mess. It's just another ride that they just didn't know what they really wanted, and it's just a bunch of garbage in the end. Because it's just like it's a launch, but let's not go too fast with it. And then it's like a mouse coaster section, like more of a mouse than anything Cobra's Curse had, where there is a little couple like hairpin turns, like high up, elevated. Then they've just thrown an inversion in there for like no reason whatsoever. Like it wasn't supposed to be an inverting ride, really. It's just like there's just one in there in the middle. I mean, you go through the old Rhino Rally cavern, that fake cavern, rock cavern they made.
Where you do the sharp right turn, left turn.
You kind of back and forth, which is something that works to great effect on a ride near us, El Toro.
Mm-hmm.
Totally different ride type.
Yeah,
but,
no, it works great on Intimidator 305.
Or Intimidator 305.
But on this ride, it's just you're going through them so slowly.
You're not going fast enough.
You don't get anything out of it.
Yeah, it's not thrilling enough. I don't know. The ride just doesn't really come together. It's all these different sections, and it just doesn't. It ends, and then I feel like it never got started. I'm like, what the hell was that?
Yeah.
And the best I could come up with is that it's like a kid's first launch coaster. Like, I think that's maybe the only worth it really has. It's kind of like if you have kids and you want to build them up, you could take them on that, and then it's like, they get used to launches and like the one inversion. So it's like a stepping stone coaster But as a complete coaster on itself, as marketed to adults, I don't know. I don't get it.
The next ride, or the only other ride I really wanted to just comment on real quick, is Montu, because I feel like I need to put this down on tape. Well, we're not using tape, but I want to.
What do you mean? Where's the reels? What? All these years, you finally telling me we're not on tape?
All right, roll the reels back.
You know, I only do tape. You know this. It's in my contract.
I just want to have a record of this.
It just sounds warmer. Oh,
yeah.
sorry.
I just want to have a record of this because I always forget. So Montu, it's a really fantastic first half, 2/3.
More than half.
First 2/3.
2/3.
That last third is really terrible though, where it's just moseying around and it's just, I don't know what happened. Like B&M, they were trying to get back to the station, but you're just winding around. It's really kind of bad, that last third. But anyway, but the first 2/3, really, really excellent. So I finally figured that out because I could never get a handle on that ride.
I liked it more than you did.
Oh, you definitely did.
I just said basically it's a great ride. Bottom line. It's almost perfect. I don't even know if it's a third. I just think there's like one part where it bows out too much and it just slows down and then you're just kind of out there toward the end. So it's like this, like at the very end, it is not great, but overall, awesome ride, and it's right up there. It's only not one of the best because there's just so many other great inverts out there. It's like if Alpageist didn't exist, if the same company didn't do that, it's the same manufacturer and the same part company didn't do that a year later, and then a Raptor, which already existed before that. If those didn't exist, this would be up there, way up there.
Yeah,
and then the only other one that, Banshee, as a recent installation at Kings Island, that also, I think overall I like better.
Oh, that's definitely a better ride.
But other than that, it's probably number 4 for me now.
Okay.
Like it's up there. It's top 5. It's really awesome. It is. For whatever reason, I always kind of judged it more harshly or just kind of forgot about it. It's so great. I'm glad you brought that up. That's not what I thought you were going to say, though.
Oh.
I thought you were going to give a shout out to the smoker. You're going to give your compliments to the chef.
Oh, yeah.
I thought that's what you were going to do. You should do that. Come on. Possibly your greatest in-park meal ever.
Oh, that could have been. Yeah, the barbecue we had.
Outside of like Epcot restaurants or, again,
barring
that kind of thing. Not a sit-down table service, but outside of that, your best cafeteria style
quick service meal.
Yeah, quick service park meal.
Yeah, because what is that? The
Smokebia Zam House. So the Smokebia Zam House.
Yeah, the food was just absolutely incredible. It was moist, flavorful, and just full of smoke flavor, and tender as all hell. Stuff was just coming right off the bone there. Just really great meat. Yeah, compliments to the chef. Whoever they have there making that barbecue did an excellent job. Because we got the barbecue again at SeaWorld, and it wasn't as good. It was still good.
It was still very good.
It was still very good. Don't get me wrong.
It was still above average.
But this barbecue, was way above average. I don't know what they were doing there, but that guy deserves the Congressional Medal of Jesus.
That's right. What is it? It's The Rock. The Rock, kids. Look it up.
Yeah.
Congressional Medal of Jesus. It was very good. I enjoyed it a lot, but I do think it's happening slowly but surely, but it is happening. Food in the now SeaWorld parks, former Busch parks, going downhill.
Yeah, well...
Mark my words. I'm calling it now. I want to get it recorded. I want to get this on tape, or whatever the hell this is, and we'll see. And we're going to maybe do something next year that'll solidify that a little more for us, but right now, that's a theory of mine.
Yeah. Well, we noticed that all of the new stuff, new meaning everything since the Busch family has not owned these parks.
Yeah.
All the new food stuff is not very good. All the old stuff is still there for right now and is still very good. But the new stuff is very, very lacking.
Yeah. And then little things like cheaping out on the ketchup brand and the barbecue sauce brand packets they're offering. Cutting down on some options. There is a couple of dessert options we used to really like that they don't do anymore. There's no more unique iced tea. They used to have their own like house iced tea, lemonade, and fruit punch. that they've discontinued now for many years already, I believe. Just little things like that. It's just starting to chip away at it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and the little areas where I think they're probably using some cheaper ingredients now in some of the stuff. The Italian in particular, at least at Busch Tampa, was not up to the quality that they used to have. But I had never gotten the Italian there before. My Italian experiences were at the other parks in the chain, so I have to kind of hold out on that one just so right now. But it seems like the barbecue is the best thing that they do still. And ironically, that's the latest thing. That was like toward the very end of the Busch family era, they put that in. And that's the thing that so far they're still doing in that same quality. But those Busch parks, they were known, at least to us, for just the best quick service meals you can get anywhere.
Yeah.
You know, parks or anywhere. Even just other things. You know, stadiums and state fairs, whatever. Like, the best quick service shit you can get anywhere was at those parks. And it's kind of holding, but with a few things chipped away. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, it blows my mind that these Busch parks, the Busch and SeaWorld parks, they don't get any recognition for their food. I just can't believe it.
Never did. Yeah.
Yeah, it never did either.
Even back when they were undisputed best.
Because the barbecue and the Italian, I guess, at Williamsburg, at least.
Mostly.
At
and
least
the German
two.
at Williamsburg,
and the
too.
German, at least those three things were restaurant quality.
Yeah.
Or are. They are restaurant quality. Like, I mean, the Italian was like better than anything you would get at Olive Garden or Macaroni
It was like
Grill.
better than Olive Garden. Yes. Yeah.
And the barbecue is like better than some barbecue places that I've been to.
Better than the Famous Dave's chain.
So it's so weird to me that everyone, raves about Dollywood or Knoebels, and a couple other parks, with their food, but no one gives a shit about the Busch food. It's weird.
Yeah. All right. So that's Busch Gardens, Tampa for you. So next we went to Legoland, Florida. There's Legos, there's a few rides. All I can say about Legoland is it's really the same as the California one. We saw that one. I don't even know if we ever did that on the show. Did we?
Yeah, I don't think so.
I don't think we ever mentioned even that. But it's got like most of the same stuff that they have there. The backdrop is the old Cypress Gardens. That's the most unique thing about the whole site. So that was kind of neat, although it's been many years already and it's not really being kept up that well. The actual gardens part in the back of the park was kind of sad. They're not really keeping it up. It's just sort of there for anyone who wants to wander back there. I'm kind of surprised it's open at all because it seems like it's more of a safety hazard than anything else.
Oh, yeah.
Especially where there's the signs warning about gators. Some parts of it border that lake there. And, I guess gators are in that lake and they could come up on land like occasionally. And it just gave me an uneasy feeling. I think we both had that.
Oh, yeah.
Walking through there. It was kind of weird. Yeah, the banyan tree. What the fuck's that shit about? Taking over the earth, I guess.
That's a creep show.
You were really creeped out by that.
Yeah.
The old Paul Banyan tree. The Sausage Fest tree. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Or as we like to call it, alien pods.
Yeah, it's
that was like
weird.
Aliens are gonna hatch out of those any second. Come on.
Well, that and then that banyan thing, it was...
Yeah, the banyan. No, and then there was the man-eating flowers.
Oh, yeah,
like,
yeah.
They actually were like mouths ready to open and eat you.
So, yeah, there's a lot of creepy shit back there.
It's just it's like alien world back there. It's, Cypress Gardens. Weird. So whatever. I mean, it's just not really kept up, though. It's just sort of there, and it's whatever. But, that was whatever. They still do the water ski thing, like the old Cypress Gardens. At least the grand finale of it is, like, intact. Where they stand on each other's shoulder, do a pyramid. So we did see that, and that was kind of like, oh, okay. They're doing that. And then there's a guy in a Lego costume. Also, though.
Was it like Brickbeard or something?
Oh, Brickbeard. Old Brickbeard. Old Brickbeard is back.
Old Brick Dick.
Yeah, Brick Dick. I'm waiting for that character. They're going to have a downtown red light district. Maybe that'll be the new edition. The red light district. And it's going to be, Brick Dick. Porno star. Oh, boy. Yeah, so there's that. The park itself, the Lego stuff is nice enough. It's, we weren't, it was our second time around. We saw the one in California years ago, so we had seen it. And then really the one thing of note for me was the Miniland was a lot better here. It was the less Miniland.
Yeah.
They just did it on a bigger scale than they did. And what I mean by that is not more stuff, but the actual scale they made the models to, it was larger. The New York skyline, it was pretty big. It was like taller than you. You know,
yeah.
It was big. It was stuff was big. It wasn't like that in California. Everything was smaller, and you were kind of looking down on everything, and it made it look a lot less impressive, and just kind of like, why am I looking at this? After the first couple of Lego structures, you're kind of bored of it, and that's it. It's like, I got the idea. All right, I'm done. This was more impressive. It was the larger scale, and the stuff was staged better. Certain things were up on hills. Certain things were out like over water. Everything was just had a more intricate staging going on. So I liked it a lot more. I did like this Miniland. We both got a kick out of. We spent some time in it. The California one was really just, we walked through it quick and that was it.
Well, I think this park is overall better than the California park. It was nicer. They have a lot of the same stuff.
Yeah.
But I kind of like the Florida one better.
Ironically, some of that stuff was already there on site.
Yeah,
we were kind of surprised
weird.
to find out. We looked it up later and found out like that even that dragon, they added the dark ride part, but the coaster was there.
Very strange.
They just happened to buy a site that had like the same coaster the same model they already had in the California park. That was kind of weird, yeah, how that worked out. The mouse coaster was moved from another Legoland over in Europe. Yeah, a lot of the stuff wasn't new, and that was sort of noticeable.
Yeah.
You know, the park itself is, I think, 5 years old. We found out, looked it up.
Yeah, I think it's their 5th season.
And yet it's noticeable that some of the stuff is more than 5 years old, though, some of the rides, because they were moved from other places. But whatever, it's fine. It's cool. It's the better Legoland park. It did have the feeling that they learned from whatever they built previously, and this was like the improved version of a Legoland park. They learned from some of the mistakes they made, at least in this country in California, but even the international ones that were done first, some of them. And this was like an improved upon Lego concept park. So there wasn't too many missteps here, and everything was pretty tight. And it was cool for what it's supposed to be. You know,
yeah.
Also, the Woody was cool. The Coastersaurus was fun.
Yeah,
that was a fun little Woody. A little Martin and Lennox.
Yeah, / Gravity Group. I'm not sure.
Yeah, whatever the hell. But that was kind of cool. And the Dark Ride. That was our other favorite, right? I think the Dark Ride was fun.
was really good.
The Shoot 'em Up Dark Ride. The Egyptian themed, or
it's King Brick's tomb or something. I don't know.
King Brickdick's Prick.
I forget the name of it. But yeah, that was very good.
Those were the standouts for us.
Yeah. Oh, the 3D theater thing was really dumb, though. You just watched a 3D short. There were no effects. They
really forgot to put effects in. There was maybe some fans and a couple of lighting effects, but that was it.
Yeah.
No water. The seats didn't have anything built in.
Right.
No air. No nothing. No backstabber. Leg ticklers. Nothing. So, yeah, be warned. It's not really a 4D show. It's really more of a 3D show. My biggest thing when we were there was that I think they got to go Flume next. Or Rapids.
That would be cool, yeah.
Put an actual water ride. If all the Legoland parks, this one's in the hottest locale down in Florida there. So I think they got to do it. You got to build like a real water ride. Personal suggestion there. So whatever. It was good. It was fun. The hotel. That was interesting, right? That was the other interesting thing.
Yeah, we checked the hotel out there. That opened this year, I think. I think it's brand new.
That's pretty brand new? Okay.
I think so.
That was kind of neat. That was, Lego beds.
Yes, Lego beds and Lego sheets and all that.
Yeah, it's funny because we were joking about it as we were walking up to it, and then it's like they kind of know that people are going to be thinking that because right when you walk in the lobby, the first thing you're hit with is a bed made out of Lego. It's like they kind of knew people might be thinking that and joking about that. So I do like that. There is this kind of weird Lego humor that kind of goes around the whole park.
Yeah.
I found. That was kind of interesting.
Yeah, there's a kind of a weird inconsistency, though, that I noticed with this, the second time round, where you have like things made out of the tiny Lego bricks,
like the real world Lego bricks.
Yeah, the real world size Lego bricks that make a giant structure, like a giant giraffe or Einstein's head or something.
Oh yeah, Meinstein.
Meinstein, yeah.
It was the Mindstorm Factory or whatever the hell. It's like you call him Albert Meinstein, which apparently is a park icon.
Yeah.
There was like so much merchandise that had that image on it. I couldn't. Why is the Meinstein one of the park icons? I didn't get it.
I don't know.
Nothing at the entrance. Nothing like the Lego characters. They do have a bunch that they made over the years, and that with that movie too. I think they established a bunch of characters with that.
Yeah.
And yet they used Meinstein, or just it's the Albert Einstein bust essentially they made out of Lego bricks. There was shot glasses. There was no, I'm sorry, they didn't have shot glasses. They had glasses with little handles, like little mini mugs.
It was a shot glass, but they put a handle on it, so then they don't call it a shot glass.
It's a kids park, so they can't do shot glasses, I guess, or just won't do it. A true shot glass, but they had the little mini glasses with handles that had his face on it. They have magnets. They have they may have had shirts. I'm not sure.
Maybe they may have.
They had postcards. Like they just would push it like that. As if that was the main attraction of the park. I don't get it, but whatever. Anyway,
they have stuff like that made out of the tiny Legos. Then they have stuff where it's supposed to be the mini Lego that's been blown up to be like regular human sized, like the Lego characters.
That's like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. That's like we've been shrunk to the size of a Lego person, and we're living in a Lego universe now.
They have that.
That's like that, yeah.
And then they also have just regular human world stuff. Just like regular buildings and props and stuff. They're just regular human stuff. So they have a very weird inconsistency there. But, it's fine. I'm not saying it's necessarily a negative thing. It's just interesting.
Yeah, they couldn't get it one way and one way.
They couldn't
only.
decide. Yeah, are you going to walk into the Lego world like you're going to be shrunk down, or is everything just going to be made of regular Legos like that? That are the size that they really are.
Yeah.
Or we're just not going to do either of those, and it's going to be regular buildings.
And it's a fiberglass and brick building or something. It's a brick and mortar building, and it's just a Lego character on the side of it, or out front or something. And then,
so they couldn't figure it out. Really.
They couldn't, but whatever. But it's weird because it does work. For what it is, it does work.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's not really like a negative, but it's just weird.
Yeah. Too many lands, though. Too many lands.
Way too many.
There's like 12 lands, and it's actually not the smallest park. We were figuring it out, I think, before we left, and I kind of was looking at it. It was the second time we did the island in the sky, and I was kind of like looking from one end to the other. It's pretty much almost the size of Six Flags Great Adventure. It's about that size.
Yeah, it's a decent size.
If you don't know, I mean, Six Flags Great Adventure is not the biggest park, but it's a nice size. It's not that small for a family kiddie park. Definitely bigger than the California one. Fun thing about the hotel was how interactive the lobby was.
Yeah,
and I'm sure the rooms even have stuff too. Just so kid friendly. They just had a pit of Lego instead of a ball pit. It was a Lego pit, and then they just encouraged the kids to be making their own shit, or the posts, like the pillars that basically hold the lobby up, actual just structural stuff in the lobby. They would encourage the kids to wrap them in Legos. Like they were, I guess it would be like a continued thing. Like each kid would put a few bricks in, and over time the whole post would be covered with Legos. Over the sheetrock that it really is. And just stuff like that. And then the whole Lego playground that was behind that.
They had a playground in the lobby.
Yeah, a lobby playground. I've never seen that anywhere. And then that restaurant where they had the Rick Beard character, like a character meet and greet right there in the lobby. And that restaurant had like a grand opening sign, like it had just opened recently.
Like that day or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah. And then on the other side, they had a bar like for the adults. So it's like they're really kind of thinking, like, and trying to do something different. And we were thinking, like, when we were there, like, wow, even Disney doesn't do this.
They have very impressive lobbies, but they don't have kid-friendly lobbies, really.
Yeah.
You go into the Animal Kingdom Lodge, and they have all these sort of artifacts from Africa around the lobby, and that's cool and interesting, but it's cool and interesting to someone over the age of, 25.
It's a lot of, don't touch!
Yeah.
It's a lot of that. Which is weird. I never really thought, I never would have thought of it until I saw this Lego hotel. And was kind of like, oh, wait a minute. They're onto something here. This is a concept. And I wouldn't want Disney to do every hotel like that, but it's weird that out of the 50 hotels they have now on just in Walt Disney World, not one is like that.
Right.
Like have one or two that have more kid-friendly features just to mix it up?
No, what they do is for a lot of their hotel lobbies, or probably all of their hotel lobbies, is they'll have a TV that plays Disney cartoons.
Just like a screening room
And
for like,
they'll-
kids to sit.
Yeah, and they'll have the kids go sit down in front of the TV while the adults check in.
Yeah, but that's, when you think about it, that's awful.
But yeah,
You know, you're just encouraging the kids of the next generation to be couch potatoes, you know, instead of stimulating them and having an interactive environment for them to play in. So what Lego is doing is pretty innovative, and I like it.
Yeah,
I don't have
it's great.
kids, don't necessarily want them, but if I did, I think I'd want to take them there because that's neat. I think they'll get more out of it, and especially more in the long term. Like they'll be healthier later on in life for doing stuff like that. That's a healthier way to live, not just sitting in front of a screen all the time.
and the kids that we saw in the lobby, they were eating it up. They were having a blast.
Not one kid was bored or not partaking.
Yeah.
Every one of them was like in there and doing something. Yeah, they love it.
Not only that, they had Legos that you could play with in the queues of the
Oh
rides.
yeah, the cute little section.
That's a great idea. So the kid doesn't have to necessarily stand in line to wait for the ride. There's a section off to one side of the queue where they can play with Legos while their parents wait.
Yeah,
And then when we get to a later point in the queue, they can hook up with them again.
yeah.
That's a cool idea.
That is really, again, innovative and really neat.
I love the Lego brick, whatever they're called, pool toys.
Oh yes,
Those were cool.
in the hotel pool and in the lazy river of the water park. They had just Lego, like giant size Lego bricks, just strewn about, so you could pick them up, and they did interlock, like
Right, they
actual
were
Legos.
functional, yeah.
Functional Lego bricks.
Because a couple of kids in the hotel pool were making a giant block out of all the
Well, they
bricks.
hoarded all the Legos that were in the pool for themselves and just making this giant structure. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, now that just reminded me, because at the pool, they had like these Lego characters trying to make a cake or something, and they were falling into it and messing it up.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
their shtick. Lego characters just fuck everything up.
Yeah.
They're all fuck ups.
They're all bad at their jobs.
Yeah.
There was that one, like the working cafe or whatever that we
Oh,
sat
the
in
burger
for a minute.
place.
It was a burger place.
It's a burger construction.
But it was themed to the Lego Construction Workers series.
Yeah.
But again, the artwork of the characters on the walls was all of them screwing their job up. The guy operating like the digger was like, he accidentally like dug up one of his coworkers like in it and was like, hey, you know. And then like the guy who was hitting another one in the head with a shovel, like he didn't notice, like that old gag essentially, like you know what I'm talking about, like they swing the shovel around, it's an old like Stooges gag kind of thing. It's just stuff like that, like they're all just fucking up their jobs. Yeah, so it is kind of weird, but cool at the same time. Well, I kind of like it.
Yeah, no, it's funny.
You know, and then from the show, which was based on the Lego movie, I guess it was basically like a continuation of it. It was like a sequel, a short form sequel to the Lego movie, which I do know was a big hit.
Oh, yeah,
I
it
never
was
saw it, but I know
gigantic.
it was a big hit. There, it became apparent that I guess it's like a breaking the fourth wall kind of thing is something that they do a lot. Apparently, that's part of their big part of their humor too. You know, I guess it's good stuff. I don't hate it.
No,
I like what they're doing. I like what this Lego thing is all about.
no, this is the best thing that could have happened to Cypress Gardens, really.
Oh, in that case, oh yes,
Because
yes.
they went out, you know, they couldn't survive. So it's great to see that this is now a fully functioning theme park. And people were into it.
It's the world's first fully functioning Lego-cidal park artist. No, doesn't work.
So, you know, if you have kids that are into Legos, or if you're into Legos yourself,
Well, that's the thing.
I think you'd probably really like it.
That also became apparent to me this time. I didn't quite get it in California even, and I never thought about it. Like, apparently Legos are huge today.
Oh, yeah.
I think they're bigger now than they were when I was a kid.
They may be. Yeah, they may be.
And it's like all the kids know them. They all have a Lego set here or there, I guess. And like they just couldn't wait to get like to that hotel lobby and just start digging in and playing. And wow, Legos are huge. And so good for them, you know. And it's great. It's fun. Good, clean, healthy fun for the kids. But there's enough things for adults to not be bored and hating it. I feel like Walt Disney, the man, would be proud.
Yeah.
I think he'd be more proud of that park than he would of his own parks today.
Ooh.
I might go that far.
Perhaps.
That's the Walt Disney formula for Disneyland when he first built it. it is geared down towards younger ages, but it's things that the parents and kids can do together, and everyone's engaged, and everyone's enjoying it, and everyone's entertained. And, we talked about it before on the show. Disney, now the company has become so too far into just stuff for the kids, I think.
Overall, yeah.
And then there's still a few adult things, but those things are like kind of separate now. And there's less things that they put in where everyone can do it together. And what I saw on this whole Lego resort, I saw a lot of good stuff that reminded me of what Walt Disney himself really wanted for his own parks. So I like it. Good stuff. If you're an enthusiast like us, I guess I recommend giving it half a day, kind of like we did. If you got kids, though, I wholeheartedly recommend it. Like, definitely check it out. Don't just keep your head up Mickey's ass. Please, don't be like that. If we could influence anyone to do anything, just stop doing that. And it's not a long drive. It's like a 45-minute drive out of the way from the central Orlando area where Disney and Universal are, and it's worth it. So it's less than an hour drive, and it's worth it. If you got the kids, I think you'll have a good time. Definitely check it out. Last thing, just for us as enthusiasts, Island in the Sky.
That thing is awesome. That's a mechanical marvel.
That was cool. Yeah, I'm so glad we got to do it finally.
We did it twice.
Oh yeah, because I wanted to do it. Before we left, I was like, because it's like there's a real chance that that might have been the only time I would ever have a chance to do that.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to make sure I did it one more time, just so I got the full effect. It's like the craziest shit, though. It's like, I don't know why it was ever built, but I'm glad it is. It's Intamin.
Yeah.
Found out.
Yeah. For those that don't know, it's a twist on an observation tower where the gondola is on one end of an arm that's laying flat on the ground. And then as the arm raises, the gondola stays level, but it also spins. It turns, so you get 360-degree view.
It is an island in the sky. It's magic.
So you're moving in like this diagonal path, and that's just weird because you don't really see the arm until you pass by it in your rotation.
Yeah.
But other than that, you really do feel like you're just kind of floating diagonally upwards. It's really weird.
It's like a dream.
Yeah. It's very, very cool.
You feel like you're in a dream. Yeah, because you're used to an observation tower is just going straight up. And this one, you're going up and over.
Yeah.
So it's really different. But it's slow and gentle, so even those who are not comfortable with heights, kind of like even you're not the greatest on heights, but you had no problem with this. Like, you feel fine.
Oh, yeah.
It's not freaky, so...
No, not at all.
People shouldn't be deterred. It's not freaky at all.
It's very relaxing.
It's because it's so gentle. I think it's just when the counterweight has to touch ground again at the very end,
Yeah.
or you has to kind of lock in, that's the only little bump you get at the very, very end. But you're back on the ground, essentially, so it's not like freaky per se. It's just a little jolt you get at the very end. But the rest of the entire experience is completely smooth. It's just cool. I'm glad it does exist. It's magic that when you're in the park, you'll look over sometimes and it's there. Here's like this observation tower ride, and then you'll turn around a minute later and it's gone.
Yeah.
And it's like, what? Where'd it go? Because it just goes completely back to the ground and it's just out of the skyline again. And it's kind of neat. It's more than kind of neat. It's really awesome, actually. It's so that was really fun. I'm glad we got to do that, and you get a nice view. It's really something else. It's really cool. So if you go to the park, you gotta ride the Island in the Sky. I'm surprised, but also elated that they kept it.
Yeah.
It seemed like that would have been an easy thing for them to scrap it when Merlin took over, but they didn't, and I hope they keep it going for years to come. It's really awesome.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
So, all right. I think that's it. We didn't even want to do it, but it's interesting. I know for me, these memories kind of came flooding back as we started talking about it.
Yeah.
I haven't thought about Legoland since we were there. Of all the things we did, because we did so much in that week. And this was not the highlight, but it was fun. And so I'm glad we got a chance to talk about it in the end. Now, you gave a compliment to a chef earlier. Do you want to give a big fuck you to Briccolini for serving you what in your opinion, it was like the worst pizza you've ever had?
It was one of the worst pizzas I've ever had, theme park or otherwise.
To me, I mean, I actually got through it. It was edible to me. I guess I have a little more tolerance for cheesy pizza or food in general than you do. And when I say cheese, I don't mean like the literal mozzarella cheese. I just mean like cheesy as in not very good.
No, it was just surprising because the pizza at Legoland California was fine.
Well, that seemed to be a theme, and I had a little theory, if you remember, we were sitting there, about how that maybe the California park is the usual Merlin level of food, which actually wasn't that bad. They had some interesting options, and we ate the brick oven pizza in particular. That was pretty good. But I feel like in the Florida market, because Disney and Universal, the two heavyweights, their quick service options are not the greatest. Disney even more so. Universal, but even Universal's hit or miss depending on what you get. That they just felt like when they built their park here or there in Florida, it was just kind of like, oh, we don't have to do that well with our quick service food because the big players aren't really doing anything that special. So why are we going to bother? So I feel like maybe they cheaped out on the food in that location. But that's not a good way to be.
Honestly. No, it's not.
You should have been a cut above their food and put them to shame. But because that was weird that the California park had actually pretty decent food, and this one was pretty garbagey. What are you gonna do, Briccolini, motherfucker? All right, there was Legoland for you. May the Legos be with you. Right? They had a whole Lego Star Wars thing.
They have a deal with everybody. I don't know who they don't have a deal with.
No, they don't have a deal with.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, they like license every major franchise and property out there.
Yeah,
and make a Lego set out of it. It's amazing. Penis Land, remember that? Big rock penis world. That's where big brick dick hangs out. Brick Dick Johnson. That's where he hangs out. That's the top. It ain't getting any better than that. We're Legoed out now.
So what's next?
You want to get wet and wild?
Let's do it.
Possibly at the same time. Wet and wild. This was the last splash.
Our first and last splash.
Yep. This park will be closing for good New Year's Eve of this year, 2016. The end of an era. Universal has owned this park for quite some time. They're finally going to build their own, though, from the ground up and on their resort property. So it'll no longer be this odd location away from everything else and no longer be this park that they didn't really build. It's weird. It's apparent that they didn't put a ton of money into it over the years. I mean, it still just kind of looked like your standard water park, not a highly themed Universal one. A couple of the attractions, individual attractions, had some theme, but no unifying theme and no impressive structures or anything about it. Didn't feel like Universal at all. No. It's one of those deals where if I didn't know, I wouldn't have thought. It never would have occurred to me. I would have just thought this was just a regular roadside water park. I don't know. That being said, it was fine.
Well, I mean, I haven't been to very many water parks, but that was probably the best time I had in a water park.
I had a really good time.
Crowds were light, which was great.
Yes, it was a weekday. It was late September, so off season, and didn't deal with many crowds really. Very little waiting, so that was good. Nothing like a water park wait to really get you down.
Oh yeah.
We hate park waits, of course, at all, but I mean, water park waits are the worst.
Yeah, they really are.
Waiting on steps and hot concrete and just
like almost nothing on.
And then, you're practically naked and like you're some of them you're lugging a tube on your shoulder and shit. You gotta carry your own tube or sled up or whatever the hell it is, raft. Water parks are not generally our thing. If you do listen to this show often, you would know that. We haven't talked about water parks much at all. This will be one of the rare times actually. It was cool though. I'm glad we got to do it just because it's closing. So I'm glad I got to see it.
Yeah.
Before it closed.
It's a piece of history. It's the first modern water park.
Yeah, it's the Disneyland of water parks.
Yeah. It opened in 77, I think, something like that.
Yeah, it was late. That's right. We thought 60s, but that was SeaWorld.
Yeah, because it was the same guy who started SeaWorld.
Yes, it's the same. It's the SeaWorld guy. So all you blackfishers out there, you can hate this place too. Feel free. Feel free to hate. Because it's the same guy. I thought that was kind of interesting. It's like his first thought was like, let's wrangle up a bunch of whales and make them do tricks and make a park out of that. That was his first thought. Then his second thought was, let's put a bunch of water slides. I mean, I know that water slides existed before that, but like, what if we just put them all a bunch together in like one complex and like made a kind of a park, kind of a water park. And like that was his second idea.
Yeah.
Because they're two totally different things. He's an idea man, though. I can appreciate that. Who is it? It's like
George Millay.
George Millay. It's not Dick Water. It's not
Dick Wet and Bob Wild.
It's like not. Yeah. Oh yeah, Dick Wild. Or yeah, that's what it was. It's Dick Wet. Dick Wet and Bob Wild.
Crotch Wild.
Yeah. That's great. No, they're both the two dicks, Dick Wet and Dick Wild. Got together and created Wet and Wild.
Wet and Dick.
Yeah, they originally going to call it Dick and Wild, but they rethought that later on. And just day before it opened, they changed it Wet and Wild.
The day before, yes.
Yes. Dick and Wild just wasn't going to work.
I guess, just my favorite thing there was the, I forget what it was called, Black Hole, Blackout.
Oh, jeez, everything's kind of sexual innuendo here. Yeah, she went through her black hole.
Yeah, Black Hole. And because that was, it was not a body slide. You had a tube, right?
Yeah, it was
two-person.
We only did one body slide
raft
while we were there.
Right.
And that wasn't it.
The tube is totally enclosed. It is pitch black in there. You can't see anything. And that's what made that slide.
It was, two-man bob. So we went together. We did it twice because we had a good time on it. It was kind of a space theme, right? Alien theme.
Something, yeah.
The very top where you got on the raft was like had some.
Actually, had a lot of theming in the station.
Yeah,
the
lighting and it was like a spacecraft. I guess you were in the top of the spacecraft.
Yeah, something like that.
Well, yeah, I think from the outside it looks like a flying saucer.
Yeah,
from the outside, it's like a 50s style saucer thing. Moon men from Mars kind of thing, and it was like the Space Mountain of water slides.
Yeah,
essentially, because it was all in the dark, and because of that, you felt like you were going twice as fast as you really were. And there's a couple, one drop in particular, a little late in the ride, but it felt, it was probably like 10 feet, but it felt like 40.
Yeah.
Just because you're in the dark and you're going so fast or seemingly fast. So that was a situation.
It just comes out of nowhere.
Yeah, the darkness really works. And I know it's an older concept slide, but neither one of us do water parks that often, so we both really had a great time with that one.
Yeah, that's from 1990.
So that was the best ride. The disco thing was fun. That was next to that.
That was fun. The bowl.
Yeah, it's a bowl slide, and with the disco theme.
The enclosed tornado was really cool, actually.
Yeah, we hadn't done an enclosed one before, so that was cool. It was the funnel slide, the enclosed funnel brainwash here. That was really cool. We had a good time on that. We did do the body slide style bowl.
Yeah,
that did happen. That was you actually were just drawn to it.
The Storm, that's what it was called.
I don't think I would have done that if it wasn't for you.
No, yeah, I don't know what was going on with me, but
you were hit by a sudden sense of adventure.
Yeah, I saw it, and I think I just turned to you and I said, I think this is something I got to do.
Yeah, you kind of did. You just kind of, I got to do this. I think we got to do this. Or I got to, yeah, it's like, you didn't care if I didn't do it. You were just like, it's something I got to do.
Yeah, I don't know why I felt that way.
But then I did it. I was like, well, I can't just let you do it. I mean, I got to try this out.
So yeah, it's like I said, it's a body slide where there's a real short tube section, and then it dumps you out into this bowl, and you kind of wind around like you're being flushed down a toilet bowl.
Yeah.
And there's a hole in the middle, and you fall through like maybe 4 or 5 feet.
But it's like a 4 or 5 foot drop. Yeah.
Yeah, into a pool of water.
It's like a 7 foot pool of water.
It's like, yeah.
Because it has to be deep because you're dropping in.
Oh, it was one of the most frightening things I've ever done in my life. I would never do that again.
Well, I mentioned with Falcon's Fury being a simulator. I think this was like a drowning simulator.
Oh, yes.
That's what I got out of this. It's a drowning simulator.
Well, yeah. Well, they should have tipped this off when the guy at the top said, "You both are good swimmers, right?"
Yes, right before we got to get on this
that
thing.
gave me pause.
He's like, yeah.
I mean, I know how to swim, but still, it's like, why did you ask me that? And then it was just a fun slide.
Yeah, and then we're both nervous. We just kind of like, yeah, yeah, I guess we are, sure.
So it's just very scary when you drop out.
Well, it's a steep drop. It's really just like the tube section is just like a long steep drop, so you get a lot of speed.
Yes, yeah.
So it's a pretty nice high, like a 50 foot or something, 40, 50 feet, just drop. And then you just really whip into that bowl and you got good speed.
One of the problems, though, is that for both of us, we fell through the hole in the center head first. So we went head first into the water.
Yeah.
And as I was spinning around the bowl, that's all I could think about was, oh God, I hope I don't land head first. And of course, that's what happened.
Yep, that's what happened to me. So you kind of backwards, with head first.
And then you get up, and so you have all this water pouring out from the hole that's
the bowl,
there.
Yeah.
And so you just feel like you're constantly underwater, even though you've swam, out to get to the surface. And all you can hear is the lifeguard saying, "Hey, over here! Hey, ho, ho!" Because that's all you have is your hearing to get you out of that situation. And it was really scary because I thought I was like in trouble because the lifeguard is yelling at you, and I'm like, "Wait, what did I do? What's going on?"
Yeah.
But really, he's just trying to direct you towards him to get the hell out of there.
Yeah, I dumped in, and I obviously did get out with my head up above water pretty quick, but then I had the waterfall, that round circular waterfall coming out of the bowl, pounding on my head, and I thought like maybe, I wasn't sure. I was like, am I still underwater?
Yeah, yeah.
I had a split second where I was just thinking like, wait a minute.
Well, that's
am I? Because the guy was shouting, and I was like, am I okay? I don't know.
I thought I was in trouble.
And then I just started swimming toward him, and then I was okay. But it was a weird experience. Yeah.
So that was awful. That was a nightmare.
I wouldn't go that far, but
for me, that was because I'm glad I don't really like water. I'm kind of scared of water to begin with, so to do that was kind of a nightmare for me.
Oh, okay. But yeah, we both did it, so we had a little bit of an adventure there, a little adrenaline rush. We did Lazy River. That was fun.
That was fun.
Did 2 laps in that.
Yeah, just fooling around with the tube.
Well,
all the different ways to sit in that tube was really fun.
That's just like being a kid again. That's just, you remind yourself.
Yeah, that's right. I hadn't done that in like 20 years.
Yeah, you remind yourself of all these things that you hadn't even thought about in all these years, and it's just, wow. Yeah, it's like when you put your arms through the tube and you just like rest your arms over it and your legs are in the water. It's like, just stuff like that. That was cool. The wave pool was lackluster.
The wave pool was lackluster.
I'm not sorry that we're going to get rid of that.
Oh, saltwater too, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
The wave pool.
The saltwater wave pool. That was interesting.
I had never experienced that before. Yeah, waves were really mild. They were really mild, but at the same time, I mean, I would be struggling if I went, too deep in there.
No. Yeah, we stayed just on the line. And then I think the last thing we did was that the surge. Actually, first was it was like another 2-man bob, but this one was like not in the dark, so it kind of sucked.
Right.
We did that one. That was kind of lame because we had done
the flyer.
Because we had done, I think it was the flyer. Yeah, we did so many other better things earlier in the day, and then that just kind of sucked. But then we did that. I think is it the surge?
Yeah.
And that was fun. That was like a rapids. Like they built like a rapids water slide.
A rapids water slide. Yeah, where you're sitting in a tube, but you have all this. It's not like you're going down a steep incline or anything like that.
It's all low to the ground too. You're all on the ground. You don't go very high.
Right, and you're just getting hit by all these different tubes of water or waterfalls. That was really cool. I like that a lot.
Yeah, that was fun.
Again, not a new concept. That went in '94. But still, it was new to us, and it was neat to see that.
Yeah, so that's before Universal owned it, even I think. Right, that one.
Yeah, Universal took it over in '98.
But it's interesting is that it was highly themed. That one.
It was like broken pipes and something. It
was just like kind of industrial theme. It was just like a bunch of industrial waterworks stuff that was all broken and busted and spewing water on you. That was a lot of fun though. Yeah, that was a good one. Yeah, overall, it was cool. It's small though. It's a small place. You could see where there really wasn't any room for expansion. Yeah,
no, they're blocked in on all sides by either roads or there's like a lake.
It's like roads on 2 sides and then like a lake on the other 2 sides, I think.
Yeah. So they're kind of stuck.
And there's already like hotels on the other side of the lake. That's all already built up. No room to expand, nowhere to go. So yeah, I could see why they're giving up on this one and moving on. Yeah, it was very weird. No build up or wind down whatsoever. You're just on a road. You got to cross a busy intersection. That's really not desirable even for an amusement park experience, but especially for a water park because you're a little more vulnerable because you're kind of half naked. You're wearing a little less than you would normally. It's unappealing. And especially nowadays, that's really, and especially that area, Central Florida, where you have all this high themed stuff. I can see where it just may not be viable anymore.
Yeah.
And it kind of needs to come out. So I can kind of see why this is happening. It was stark going in actually that way. It's a situation where the parking lot's across the street, and then you have to cross this intersection and just walk along this road to get in. And they have just like the seedy knockoff souvenir places across the street and stuff like that. It's not really that great. But it was even more noticeable when we walked out. I thought when we got it's really old school. You exit through the gift shop, It's like one of those kind of places. But that's it. You exit, you walk out the doors, and it's just, boom, you're just dumped down on a road. And I felt like I was home, really. I felt like it's a real local reference that no one's going to get, but it's like I'm on Hempstead Turnpike. I feel like I'm just dumped down on Hempstead Turnpike or Sunrise Highway. Around here. And it's just, wow, that was it, huh? I'm out of the park now. It's such a jarring transition. It's so weird. So, I could that part of it was kind of not great. So whatever. I mean, it's kind of sad that it really should be a piece of history. Water parks have never gotten the respect that theme parks do. And I don't know. I mean, I kind of almost feel like that's okay. I feel the same way. I kind of get it.
I think it's deservedly so. Yeah.
Yeah. Because still, the first one, though, maybe should last just for the hell of it.
You would hope.
So I'm disappointed about that part of it.
Yeah. There just hasn't been, I just think there just hasn't been as much innovation, or at least as much exciting innovation, I guess, in the water park world. I mean, I'm not saying they don't deserve respect or anything, but I think, there are real good good couple of steps, below a regular theme park experience.
Yeah, it's a fun...
But it's different. It's a different thing.
It's a fun half a day.
Yeah,
I've never
definitely.
spent a full day in a water park. I've
Definitely.
never actually really just a third of it. I mean, we only spent 4 hours, maybe 3
Something like
hours.
that. It was quick, yeah.
And that's my average, really. I don't know if I've ever spent more than that in any water park.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went to Schlitterbahn a few years ago. We did the same thing. That's world renowned, and I only did 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah.
And not because I deprived myself of another attraction that I could have done, just because I'm done. We usually hit the spots we want to hit, and that's it. You're done. You could just sit in the wave pool for 5 hours, but it's I kind of don't want to. It's
yeah, I guess with water slides, I just don't feel the need to do them multiple times.
Yeah, we did.
Unlike regular theme park rides.
Yeah, you get the idea, one shot through. Or it's just the fact that they're all kind of similar in the end.
Yeah, they really are.
After a while, it's just they all build on one another, and it's kind of you're done with that experience.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, why there hasn't been quite as much exciting innovation.
Yeah,
with water park
the Master
technology.
Blaster, the water coasters.
Yeah.
Were the best, and they don't have that there.
There's been some stuff,
which
yeah.
is unfortunate. They never did a water coaster in that park. It was sorely missing that. Wet 'n Wild, last splash. I guess we'll have to toast to that park. Sorry, George Millay, your dream is dead. What can we say? The SeaWorlds are all but obsolete, and that whole concept is, I'm sure, another 10, 20 years will be gone. And now your original water park is going to be hit with a wrecking ball. Not any day now, but soon, in a few months.
George Millay's having a rough legacy.
That guy's his legacy's gonna be wiped off the face of the earth. Huh?
Yeah.
Oh well. To Dick Wet, Dick Wild. Here's to ya. Alright, what's next? Well, I know what's next. It's a little place you may have heard about. It's a little spot, really. Some fun things have happened there. It's called Fun Spot.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say SeaWorld.
Boy! No fun happens in SeaWorld.
So Fun Spot.
Or actually, the official, is it Fun Spot America?
I think it is.
That's the official name now.
Fun Spot America. Yeah.
Fun Spot America, which I guess comprises 2 separate locations. One in Orlando and one in Kissimmee.
But we went to the Orlando one.
But yeah, it's the Orlando one is where they've really built it up. They built them both up, but the Orlando one is where they have at least the one custom roller coaster. So in the end, that was where we were going to go. We did a late night special. It's not advertised. It's not officially on the pricing board. So this is, I guess, sort of an insider tip. I had heard it was after 9, but they sold it to us a little before 9. It was maybe 8:30, 8:15, 8:30. And we got it. So I don't know if they just determined the time differently each night or what. That I can't say. It's definitely a small operation, small time stuff. So I wouldn't be surprised if they did change it night per night based on how crowded it was or whatever. The night we were there, it was dead.
That's an understatement.
We got in there about a little after 8, and they were advertised open till midnight, but I know I said to you, I don't see how they're going to make it till midnight. There was no one there.
Yeah.
When we first got there, I think we were the only two people walking through. And then some people came in after us a little bit later, like around 9 o'clock. And then at that point, there was was there 30 people there?
Maybe.
Like total in the whole place? I know it was a weeknight. This is technically the off season. So, and this place in particular, I think plays to locals more than travelers. So the evening special was a good deal. It was $27, I think. Great deal because, especially when no one's there, you can get on everything really quick. And we did some damage. We were there for maybe 2.5 hours. But we did.
Really, was it that long?
We got a lot of rides in, though.
Okay.
We really did. I mean, just the go-karts alone.
Oh, yeah, the go-karts are included in that, too, which is really cool.
Really different. Only the time I've ever seen that is in Wisconsin Dells. In the old Big Chief, whatever it is, Mountain Olympus. Where they include go-karts as part of a wristband thing. Most other places don't do that. So that's awesome value. That really made the value. Well, that and the coasters, too. Because there's a limited rides on the coasters. But the go-karts alone would easily have run us at least the full $28 anywhere else.
Oh, yeah.
Not even including any of the other rides we got. We did go do every go-kart track once, and there was 4 of them. So just right there, 4 go-kart track experiences. That's a lot. The tracks were good. They were good. I think we both sort of said that was some of the most fun go-karting we've ever had.
Yeah.
There's some great stuff.
I'm not like a go-kart guy. That's really more your thing.
Yeah.
So for me, these were the most fun I've ever... This was the most fun I've ever had.
So this outdid Mount Olympus.
Yeah, I didn't think Mount Olympus was very good,
even
honestly.
With the window dressing, they go through the Trojan horse or whatever it was.
No, it didn't really do anything for me.
Yeah, okay.
And the ones like in whatever Pigeon Forge and stuff, I like these better. I thought the layouts were just more fun. I don't know.
Yeah, really twisted, but elevated, but unique. You didn't just twist up in a spiral and then twist down in a spiral. You did a lot of other things.
And that's something that I really actually don't like is the twisting up and down in a spiral because it's I want to do something. I don't want to just go in a circle.
Yeah. They actually have banked turns on these, which is pretty unique. They're also all concrete. All these other ones we mentioned, like the Mount Olympus and there's the Big Woody in Wild Woody. Wild Woody in Pigeon Forge we've done a couple times. They are wood. They make the elevated parts of the track out of wood planks. And here though everything was concrete. I think that makes for a better ride experience. Each one was different, even down to having a different style car.
Yeah,
that I think
kind of funny.
I mean, it could just be what they bought over the years, but I think it might actually be more that each car has different handling so that it can handle what that track offers. 2 of them were a little more similar, but different enough that they wound around and up and down and stuff. The ones that stick out more were the tight turn. It was all on the ground level, but it was all tight turns.
Yeah, that was cool.
That road course track, and then there was that one that was it was like the roller coaster roadway kind of thing. Whereas you go up and then it gets really steep. They had to have signs to tell you to floor it.
Yeah.
Floor it, keep going. And then almost like a would-be airtime hill at the top, like a roller coaster hill, and then you go down pretty steep and then turn. That was cool and unique. I'd never seen anything like that before. That felt like a Mario Kart track come to life or something. Kind of. That was and now we did do that one last, which ended up being appropriate because that was Rainbow Road or something. After you had your bumping and grinding racing earlier, and then it was that was just your reward. Now you're just gonna have this fun track experience you've never had before. So those are really fun, and it's if that's all we did, that would have been enough. But that was only part of the experience. They had some cool rides there. Well, just real quick, I mean, we did the Enterprise because you don't see those all that often anymore.
They keep getting pulled out.
Yeah. And it's one of those things where when you're doing it, you're just thinking wow, this is my Florida vacation. I didn't think this was going to be happening.
Yeah.
That's just one location where an Enterprise doesn't enter your mind. Yeah.
That or even the Scream and Swing.
And then the Scream and Swing, but what I still think is the better version, which is the lower capacity version, but it's the 4-person, 2 arms, the 4 people each, not the big high-capacity version. The one that's really meant to be upcharge.
Yeah.
And that was great here, too. Not upcharge, part of the bracelet in this particular environment and fun spot. So
Yeah, bracelet includes everything except the Sky Coaster.
The Sky Coaster is only upcharge, yeah. So we got to do that, did it twice, because that's a really great ride. We both love it.
Yeah, yeah.
And on the coasters, right? There's the Freedom Flyer?
Yeah, the Vekoma Family Inverted.
Family SLC.
Yeah.
The suspended looping coaster.
That was really cool.
And the name was apt, right? You actually called it.
What, the Freedom
after
Flyer?
the first ride. No, the fact that they call it a suspended coaster.
Oh,
they always have,
Yeah, this just seemed like the best one of these that we had been on.
Yeah.
And this one I actually got a little like sort of arrow suspended coaster feel.
Yeah.
With some of the parts to it where you could feel the front of the train pulling the back of the train along. Where it's a little jerky like that, and even you don't get it obviously doesn't swing side to side like suspended, but I don't know, I was getting a little bit of that sensation.
Yeah, but the track is banked, so
Yeah.
it's like the illusion, a little bit of an illusion of that. Yeah, like the closest thing to an arrow suspended without actually being on one. Which I don't recall getting either on any of the Reptar or Woodstock Express or whatever they're calling it now.
And really, I guess they're all like this, but I just never noticed. It's just a lap bar, and that was actually kind of freaking me out just the teensiest bit.
Not
because
a
I
heavy
felt
restraint.
so exposed
Yeah.
without the over the shoulder on a inverted / suspended coaster.
I mean, actually, we should look that up because I mean, it could be that's the way Vekoma makes it, but then, again, fun spot, like they have the Scream and Swing open, like the way they do still. They're just doing things, the way that manufacturers give them to you. It could be that the big parks put over the shoulders because, big parks usually do that kind of thing. They overdo it. They overcompensate sometimes. So what do we got?
The Kings Island, Canada's Wonderland, and Carowinds ones have over the shoulders.
They do. All right. So you weren't going crazy.
Steel Lasso at Frontier City does not. They have just the lap bar, like this Freedom
So we've
Flyer.
done one like that, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I do remember that one being a better one.
Okay.
So maybe that makes all the difference.
Well, not having something to bang your head on, sure.
Yeah.
That's always better.
So yeah, it was really neat to just have a lap bar.
Oh, so that explains it. That's why no wonder we enjoyed it more. So Steel Lasso was already better because of the restraints, but still not as good, I think, because you just were over like a gravel pit, like on its own. This one actually interacted with the midway.
Yeah, this was all over the midway.
Over the
which is really
midway,
interesting.
plus just lap bar, I think made for maybe the best experience you're ever going to get on one of these.
Yeah, they have the best family suspended coaster out there.
Yeah, so there you go. Well, from Vekoma. Not the best actual family suspended coaster. Don't get us wrong here. That would be an Arrow.
Yes.
That would be Vortex. And whatever it's called now, the Bat. And then, of course, the main event of Fun Spot, Orlando, was the Gator exhibit. You could see a recreation of the kids getting eaten by gators at Walt Disney World in Florida. Right? Grand Floridian gator eating experience. No, that wasn't it. That wasn't it. Anyway, they did have a gator. They had like a joint venture with Gatorland.
Yeah, they had a small gator exhibit there.
So they had that.
Presented by Gatorland.
We
or
didn't see it.
something.
We don't give a shit about gators.
They're on loan from Gatorland or something.
I don't want to see them. I don't want to get eaten by them. I don't care.
Yeah.
Leave them alone. Leave them in the wild.
Yeah.
But not in the man-made Seven Seas Lagoon, though. Please. Leave them out of that. Anyway, the real main event was White Lightning. Yeah. Yeah, they gave it a moonshine theme, like a moonshine runner theme. That felt like it should be in Gatlinburg.
Oh, yeah.
That part of it. I didn't quite get that, but anyway.
So this is a medium-sized GCI, opened in 2013.
Wow, is that old already?
Yeah, I didn't realize it was quite that old.
This was, Steel Supports?
Yeah, I believe so.
Right? So this is rare for GCI. Maybe a first. I'm not really sure.
It could be.
I'm not going to go through the whole catalog, honestly.
Yeah.
If you know any better, then let me know. But write us. But I think it might be their first, but it's definitely rare at that. for GCI to be doing a steel support coaster. Also rare for GCI to be doing something that's not a true twister. This is one of those where it just rides along like two sides of the park. So it's an L-shaped perimeter footprint. And that's not what they do. So just looking at this ride, you and being like us, if you're in the know, you would not think this was a GCI. But then when you got aboard, you would notice Millennium Flyer trains.
Yeah.
A little small, right? Those kind of mini junior Millennium Flyer trains.
Just a little bit smaller than usual, yeah.
Yeah. This ride was fun.
Spot. America.
It's that fun spot, but it's fun.
No, this was a great ride. We both loved it. We couldn't get enough of it. How many times did we do it? 6 or 7?
We even did a fake out on ourselves, where like we were heading toward the parking lot, and then I know I was like, we're not gonna be back here in a while. Let's just do it again. Come on. And then it didn't really take much twisting of your arm. You were kind of like, all right.
Yeah.
And then we did it like another 2 times, I think.
Well, there was no one there. We had the coaster all to ourselves, so
yeah,
you could just do it as many times as you want.
You could just get in a seat and then just sit and not get up. I think it might have been about 6 by the time we left. I think it was 6 times. Front and back. We did both extremes. Definitely better in the back.
Yeah.
But it's still pretty fun in the front.
Yeah, not bad.
Which is good. That is a kick-ass little machine.
It feels like you're going twice as fast as you really are, I'm sure.
That's really fun.
It's nonstop. It's nonstop action.
It never lets up. Right to the brake. In fact, the final brake one is really hard.
Yeah.
You have so much speed still, and it's just, it comes to a really quick, abrupt stop.
Yeah, it's almost like a Superman Ride of Steel, kind of like that, where
it's like an Intamin job.
It's you're just going so hard right up to the very last possible moment.
It's like they just didn't want to sacrifice a minute of ride time or a second of ride time, so they just you go balls out to the very end. But it's awesome. I would go so far to say it's awesome.
It is great.
It's a kick-ass, awesome little ride. It was like better than it should have been.
Oh yeah.
Because it's one of those where it's like, even after we were doing it, like even after like the 3rd time, and it was like, damn, we're going to come back here one day.
That's right.
Because I kind of want to just do this place once and get it over with and be done with it. And it's like, we're going to have to come back and do this because this is so good.
Yeah.
We like GCI. They do some great stuff.
Yeah, I think after the first ride, I think I turned to you and I said, wow, they still got it.
Yeah.
They can still make a kick-ass ride.
Oh, they can. Well, this is after, because the former Terminator, now Apocalypse, and Magic Mountain is so kick-ass. This ride's not better than that, by the way.
No.
That's still GCI's finest, I think.
Yeah.
That and Thunderhead.
And I didn't mean that comment to sound as if like they really lost something, but it's just that they've been in business for a long time. And it's great to know that they're still putting out very, very good rides.
It would be easy for them to have lost it by now or to have gone soft.
Yeah.
Maybe to try to placate a softer audience these days or whatever, but they haven't done that. So that is great. This was like a backyard coaster. This is like the coaster I want in my backyard.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like. It's like, I gotta get me one of these. So great. It just never lets up. It's so much fun. And it's funny because you could see like the Mike Boodley GCI touch, where even though he was dealt an L-shaped out and back footprint, he made it as twisty as he could. He made sure to make that first drop at the corner of the L, so it's still a turn drop, which is all GCI does. It's GCI staple, and then it manages to kind of like twist a little bit here and there throughout the course. It's not just a typical out and back.
Oh, definitely not.
It has twister elements thrown in. Like you can see, he just did whatever he could to kind of try to make it a twister, which ends up making a really cool ride. It works. If you haven't done it, you got to get out there for that. That is worth it. It's worth at least going after 9 o'clock to get the guaranteed evening special and just do that ride and a couple go-kart tracks. It's worth it. It's a lot of fun. Or even just buy tickets and just do that one ride a couple times. But it's worth it.
Well, we can say that it's the best wooden coaster in Florida, right?
Well, that's for sure. Yes. It is the best wooden. It's funny. It's like Florida finally got a great Woody.
Yeah.
Like they may only have like one, but it's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So good for them. Fun spot America.
Orlando.
America. Orlando.
Okay, SeaWorld.
SeaWorld Orlando.
Mako my day.
Mako. Did it Mako the cut?
B&M Hypercoaster. Actually the tallest coaster in Florida, right?
This is tallest, fastest in Florida, which it's one of those things where it's if you don't think about it, that sounds impressive. But if you do think about it, you realize that that's not that hard. For a Florida-only crowd, where this is the only parks you do once every year or once every few years, great. For us that do at least the entire nation of the United States all the time, rotating around. There's even people who go worldwide that do even more than we do. The stats for this are not very impressive in 2016.
No.
Maybe 20 years ago they would have been, but not now.
No, it's 200 feet and goes 73 miles an hour.
Yeah, so in the overall scheme of things, that's not very impressive. I mean, that's good. It's fun. I'm not saying that you can have a good thrill ride with those stats, but it's, to tout it as a record breaker, that's not exactly incredible stats in 2016. But whatever. I don't know. They have you waiting in the basement. That's fine. you wait under the station. I kind of hate when parks do that. It reminded me of Rapture when we were there. They kind of disguise it a little bit, but not enough. You can still tell. So,
this was a frustrating ride.
Yes, that's a good way to put it. If you want to rank rides on first half only, this is probably the best B&M Hypercoaster ever built. If you want to rank rides as the entire complete ride experience, this is pretty far down there.
So it's pretty far down there.
Yes. Because in the end, you have to rank it on the entire experience. You can't rank it on just like a first half. This ride could have been incredible.
The first half is incredible.
It could have blown away every hypercoaster built to date, and it's somewhere it got messed up. It's whatever. It's no theme. It's I would say it's exactly the same as Manta, where it's like the station has a theme.
But it wasn't even as much as Manta.
Yeah, Manta has like aquariums that you pass on the queue. This was bare bones under station queue, and then they just did the same kind of a little as an effect when every train dispatches.
Yeah.
Only this one's even cheesier. Yeah.
I don't know why they have to do that in this park.
The Manta has like it's just all audio. It's a sound. This one is like it's a sound and a projection on the ceiling. But and then you just what? And then you exit the station into the backstage, and it's like the ugliest backstage you're ever gonna see anywhere. It's just like, oh god. That part of it's very Six Flags.
Definitely.
Very Six Flagish. It's very kind of disappointing actually, but that first drop is incredible.
Yeah. Well, the
first like 3 drops or so.
Yeah.
Like 4 drops. Yeah.
Unbelievable air.
Essentially, what they did, for those of you who know rides, this is it's Nitro. They essentially made Nitro again. It's the same elements in the same order, but unlike when they've done that a lot with their floorless design, this was to good effect because Nitro is built in 2001, so there's a long gap. It's just 15 years we're talking, and it's like 15 years later they revisited that design, but they did it with better, steeper angles and like more speed, and I don't know whatever else they did to tweak it, but man, it's like an improved version of it. It's just that the first drop, everything just gets you. It's so steep and really thrilling. In my mind, as we were going through it the very first time, I was like, I was ready to christen this like the number one of its type. But a little did I know how much this ride loses in its second half. Well, first they hit you with a trim brake, just during the course.
Yeah, on one of the hills.
That always sucks when they do that. And you can do it, and if it's not a bad trim, sometimes you don't even notice it. But this was really noticeable. Like first time through it ever, we totally both noticed it right away. It's like, whoa, like you lose like a good 15, 20 miles an hour. It's a nasty trim. And then mid-course brake run, it's like you come to almost a stop. It's almost like old Arrow style.
Yeah.
You slow down like way down, like to like 15 miles an hour, and then it just never regains. It never recovers. It's just the whole finish sucks.
Yeah.
On top of which, they also didn't put the usual like camelback humps or bunny hops or whatever the hell we're gonna call them. They didn't do it.
The last couple of turns in particular, you come around to the front by the midway and
the entrance of the ride.
You do a couple of fancy turns there, and the ride's supposed to be kind of showing itself off a little bit.
Kind of a fancy turn.
And but those turns are awful. especially the last couple elements on that ride are really bad.
I mean, it's like they should have just wrapped it up. It's like you might as well just had done half a ride like Dollywood and gone back to the station. And then it still wouldn't have been the number one because it would be half a ride, but
it actually probably would have been more satisfying.
But it would have been more, yes, it would have been like more satisfying. It would have just been like, all right, at least they did a great half a ride.
Yeah.
Like Tennessee Tornado or something like that. It would have been in that category then. Instead, you get a shit second half, which is just like meandering around for no reason. Well, I had a theory. I really think what happened was the second half, because it goes over the entrance and stuff, is like the park requested it to just be a showpiece. Like they sacrificed the experience for the riders to just show the fucking thing off to people who might not ride it at all anyway. And that's what they did, I think, which is like so stupid, and that's the reason why it's never usually done.
There was like a audio cue would play every time the train
there'd be a swell
pass by you on that that
like,
part where it goes over the midway.
Orchestral movement, and there'd be a swell of it every time a train went over.
Right. So it was like you were saying, it was clearly meant to be, to show off,
to be this like this midway showpiece. But like you don't use a ride to be your showpiece.
Well, the thrill has to come first.
Unless it happens to work, yeah. But in this case, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
It's like they completely sacrificed the second half of the ride.
Right. It didn't feel like B&M at all. It really felt like the park was.
Yeah, but that's why I
messing with it too much.
My theory is that the park, B&M was able to do what they wanted to do before that, and then they just said, "But you got to do this. It's got to go over the midway, over the ride sign. It's gonna hit up into this, and then turn over here and come back across the midway a second time." And I'm sure B and or M were just, what? Stupid Americans.
Yes.
Whatever. If you want it, we'll do it. Because it rides. It rides like shit. You're riding the sign.
Yeah.
That's how I looked at it. It's like at that point, the whole second half is like you're riding the ride marquee. So it's mind blowing how bad it gets and how it has nothing, and it ruins it. Unfortunately, it ruins it.
Because you have to take the ride as a whole.
You have to. The only other thing I could say is maybe if that was the beginning, maybe if they reversed it.
If they reversed it, it would be better.
Because
but it's still not
more
great.
palatable. It'd be more like acceptable. Like,
yeah,
all right, I'll take this little shitty beginning, but then all right, then it does become kick-ass later. Overall, it's a good ride, but the second half is so bad that it weighs it down so much. So in the end, it's like it's down there. It's like I guess I'd rather ride that than Apollo's Chariot. Maybe that's I think that's my dividing line. It's not, but Nitro and Diamondback are the kings for sure.
Yeah,
and this is not even including 300-foot level. I mean, Fury is way better than this, head and shoulders.
Actually, this is better than Intimidator at Carowinds.
Yeah, I think maybe that's where it slides in. I think maybe it slides in above that, and I think Apollo's Chariot for me.
I think I like Apollo's Chariot better.
All right. I'm blaming Morrow. I don't know if he has anything to do with coasters, but if he does, fuck that guy. Because I'm thinking that whole thing with the swell and the music, it's just so him, if you ask me.
Oh yeah. I'm
pretty sure that's him. Fucking guy.
Speaking of that guy, one thing we didn't get to experience exactly was Antarctica. The ride portion was closed the day we were there. So we just got to walk into the penguin exhibit, is really what it boiled down to.
Yeah, well, the sign said, like, the penguin exhibit is open, but the ride is closed today. So you have to just do it, the non-rider version.
Yeah. I mean, they still show you the pre-show video for some reason.
Yeah, we have to watch the pre-show.
I don't even know why they bother doing that
about
if you're just going to go into the penguin exhibit.
Yeah, about the little shit penguin that gets born. I don't know, whatever. Fuck them.
So what they did with the penguin exhibit is, instead of seeing the penguins behind glass, it's like you're in there with them. So it's
that Arctic penguin exhibit? Yeah, you're in one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they even tell you, they say, all right, it's minus 32 degrees Fahrenheit in here, which is not minus 32.
No, 32 degrees.
It's 32 degrees Fahrenheit in here.
Which is 0 Celsius.
Which is 0, yeah, right. Which is the temperature that water freezes.
Yes.
So it is really cold in there. It feels good for maybe 2 minutes, and then it gets real cold real fast.
Yeah, I mean, you're literally in a freezer. Almost literally. I mean, an actual freezer would be like 30, it would have to be a little below.
Yeah,
it would be like 30, 28, 30, somewhere in there. But that's close. I mean, it's almost negligible at that point.
Yeah.
You're in freezing.
And all the other people that were in there with us were not liking it. They were all complaining about how cold it was in there.
Yes.
So this is a total failure of an idea.
And I was being loud and boisterous, as I tend to do. Again, not just on the show, but in actual person. And I know at least one of, I noticed, I don't know if you noticed, one of the employees noticed. She heard me. The employees all wear like parkas. They're all in like jackets with hoods and gloves. They have to be.
Yeah.
And I noticed she heard me, and she like just kind of like nodded or something. She kind of like,
oh really?
Yeah, she was kind of like, and my feeling is they must hear this a lot.
Oh, they must.
They must. I think they've been hearing this for how long has this been there? 2 years already? 3 years? And I think they've been hearing this probably a lot, because she just gave this sort of kind of like acknowledging nod, like, yeah, this is fucking ridiculous. You're right. I hate this shit. I hate my job. Hate my life. But yeah, because that's gotta suck for the employees too. Yeah, why the fuck are you in there? Like, you still can't like touch them, and why would you want to touch them anyway? I mean, so it's like just behind the glass is fine.
Right. If you're not going to interact with them, why do you need to experience the same temperature?
You don't need to be in the actual room. Behind the glass was good enough.
Oh yeah.
It's really stupid. I think that was a really misguided decision.
Yeah.
They thought they were doing something really innovative and cutting edge, and it's just stupid.
And even though we didn't get to experience the ride part of it, I could still see why this was a total failure. Why no one likes this. This has gotten totally negative reviews.
Right. I mean, the ride. From what I've heard, the ride is not that good, and I think that's part of it. But I think then also, even people who don't do the ride, or even after you're done with the ride, because we saw you exit in that 32-degree room.
Right. That's where the ride ends.
Yeah. Which also, again, that means that the people, so even the ride workers that are working the ride that have to work exit, they have to be in that 32-degree environment.
Yeah.
I mean, that's ridiculous. I get extremes. All right, let's let the guests experience the cold. Okay? But then just put a little room, have the penguin exhibit be what it usually is, behind glass, and then have like a door. And if you want to, for like a minute, you can just open the door and have like a little walkway, and you can go out and be in that room for a minute or two, whatever you desire, and then go back out again. Have like a little offshoot, maybe even have 2 doors, an entry and exit, so it's like a loop, where you can walk in there and just experience it. For those who would like to have a little temperature extreme, make the experience a little more extreme.
Yeah.
And then you could just for the fuck of it, just as a little additional thing, like, hey, we redid the whole exhibit, the whole building, the whole concept, and this is something we threw in there. But don't make that like the main thing that you have to be in there to see them and take your pictures and shit. And then there is a little area of glass afterwards.
There is a separate room, yeah.
If it's your first time, you won't even know that exists until you get out there. So you may think you have to stay in the cold longer to get your pictures and shit. And then you find out later, like, oh, I could have left earlier. Fuck, I'm freezing. And even so, it's off to the side. If you want the front view, you have to be in there.
Yeah.
So again, I think that's really misguided. That was a poor choice.
Well, all the SeaWorld stuff it's such a mixed bag.
I have to say this was the least fun I ever had in that park.
Yeah, I was really down on the place this time. And, it's not really because of the blackfish thing. It's just hard to have a good time in that park.
It's getting weird. They closed part of the loop off.
Oh, yeah.
We should mention that the long way around the lake, which there really wasn't anything over there anyway. There was no attractions.
Yeah.
There may have been some food and I don't know what else they had over there, but whatever. They closed it off, which is... I mean, to me, that feels like Six Flags stuff. When you just put up a gate and just close off a whole section of the park, that just feels lame. Like a major park shouldn't be doing that. If you're healthy and making money, you shouldn't be doing that. And that just looked bad, I think.
Right, because you put stuff there so that people have a reason to walk through that area.
Yeah, don't just close it. This one suffered too. Again, where I feel the food is going downhill a little bit. This was the first time ever, I think, in a Busch park I noticed outside food. Was it maybe Nathan's hot dogs? I noticed.
Yeah, Nathan's.
Yeah, when the Busch family owned it, you'd never see that. They took pride in their food. I never read it or saw a documentary, but I just know because the food was that good. I could tell these people took pride in the food they served in those parks, and it's going downhill. And now they're already starting with just, let's just try to deal with Nathan's and get their shit in here, and what's next? And then they'll, before you know it, you get McDonald's.
Yeah. Well, they had Starbucks in there.
Oh, they had Starbucks. So they're starting. I mean, it's deteriorating. It kind of stinks. Yeah, everything else, we did the turtle. Turtle, I keep calling it Turtle Talk.
Yeah.
Because it's so close, but whatever. A Turtle Trek.
Yeah, Turtle Trek.
It's like I can't say anything good or bad about it. It's fine. I don't want to shit on it, honestly. For people who want that kind of experience, it's there. It's fine.
It's just a 3D movie in a dome.
Yeah, it's like a dome thing. It's like an interplanetarium, but with no seats.
But with no seats.
It's a stand,
and
it's just stand there.
And it's in 3D. There's no 4D effects or whatever.
Again, to me, it feels like Morrow. I feel like he was just like in tears after the first time they finally showed it and it was all put together. He probably was just brought to tears and just, thought it was the greatest thing ever. And it's just like, it's all right. And I understand you're trying to push good messages about, educating people to recycle and that sort of thing, which is good, but it's a bit much just for turtles. I don't know. But whatever. It's fine. Like I said, it's fine. I have no problem with that being there whatsoever. I'll never do it again, probably. I did it just the one time, but it's fun. And in the end, Manta. Manta's the star of that park. I think that's what it came down to. Journey to Atlantis has always been kind of, it's like it's great in spots, but just not so good in others. And it's just, overall okay. Yeah. All the effects never work. I think there's effects they've abandoned many years ago, and it is what it is. And then Kraken is also, it's always just all right. Yeah. There's some great moments, but it's overall, it's just okay. Mana is still awesome, though. I think it's best flying coaster.
It is, yeah.
Great stuff. That ride is just so fucking awesome. It's so extreme, too. That pretzel, man. When we were finally in the back row the last time, that was great that the guy that was sitting next to, I think he was sitting next to you, but I heard him, too. And he's right after we got out of the pretzel, when you get back up to the top and you're back up to your flying position, and he's just, I hate that part. And it's just like, I know what he means. I don't hate it though. I love it, but it is.
I love it.
It is one of the most extreme moments ever put on any roller coaster.
Oh, they push a lot of G's.
It is it's like you just go into a seizure for a second there. It's like you go dip into it, and there's nothing you can do. You have to take it. Right. There's no way you can brace yourself or minimize it whatsoever.
Yeah. Well, it kind of is like you're paralyzed when you go through it.
And you just go through it. It's like, okay, I'm back. And then it's like you're back up. But it's like when you're on your back for that minute, or whatever it is, that 3 seconds, it's just like, it's incredible. I love it being them pushed it so far for that. And that SeaWorld of all places bought one. Which is like, I understand Six Flags, but SeaWorld? And I just feel because of where it is in Central Florida and in a park that's not even technically a ride park, so many people have ridden that and experienced that probably shouldn't have.
Oh, definitely.
Or would never have. If they just only went to their local Six Flags, they would probably shy away from that particular ride, the flying coaster. That was it, right?
Yeah, that's it.
SeaWorld. So that's SeaWorld for you. I don't know. I guess if they do what they say they're going to do, but the next time they go back, we'll get to see it now for the first time without whale shows.
Yeah. Well, we did not see any of the shows there.
We didn't, no. But I'm just saying, all right, we should make that point clear. We didn't do any shows. We didn't support that whatsoever. However, I'm just saying about seeing what the park will be like in a post, at least whale show time. Yeah. It'll be interesting to see if the crowds are down, if the place becomes a ghost town, or what's going to happen. Or if they just add 3 or 4 new attractions in the next couple of years to compensate, or whatever the hell they're going to do. So it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, and we should say there was a good number of people there. It wasn't...
Oh, yeah, it was healthy.
Yeah, it wasn't, really crowded, but it was not light.
It wasn't jam-packed, but that place is so huge, though.
That's true.
So it's also hard to gauge, because it's just such a monster park. It just eats the people up.
Yeah.
That place is too big for itself.
Oh, definitely.
For sure. A special mention, though, Wild Arctic. Still open, and it's still fun. It's like, I don't even think I give a shit about the video anymore, like the movie. It's just fun to be in one of those pods and experience the movement.
Yeah, to get that movement again. Yes, exactly.
They could have kept the fucking door closed on the screen and just give me the movement. we were both laughing, right? We were brought to laughter because it's so crazy.
We were loving it.
It's so great. And those doors, man, they just shake off the hinges on the side. Those shaky doors.
I love that sound because you can hear all of the pieces rattling.
Oh man, the pods just rattle themselves to pieces. It's great. Those doors, I swear they just come wide open at some point.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's a polar bear. It's just so much movement. It's so great.
Yeah.
So great. And they still do the cheesy pre-show video, which I thought for a second we missed it, but we didn't.
No, we got it.
It's so dry, and the jokes fall so flat. It truly is so bad it's good. That is a so bad it's good pre-show. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, look it up. It's really funny. So yeah, we gotta get going. It's just too much SeaWorld talk.
All right.
You know, we got knobs to turn, buttons to push. You know.